Reuters Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Barcelona 3-0 CHELSEAFT, all done folks. Chelsea have been knocked out of the Champions League, while Barcelona join British duo Manchester City and Liverpool in the quarter-finals. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm off to Cheltenham tomorrow, but I'll be back over the weekend to bring you live coverage of the Premier League and FA Cup. Wish me luck. 90. Woodwork. Antonio Rudiger rises highest to not a cross against the bar. It's just not been Chelsea's evening. 89. Zappacosta with a rasping effort, but it'll take more than that to bear Ter Stegen. 86. Lionel Messi has pushed forward in these last 10 minutes. He knows time is running out for the hat-trick tonight. Courtois keeps the scoreline respectable as the unmarked Paulino fires a bullet header his way. Remarkable save. Reuters Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Reuters Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. 84. There goes Eden Hazard. Not been as impactful as Willian tonight. Pedro comes on and receives an awesome standing ovation from the Barcelona supporters. 82. Courtois turns behind a deflected Messi free kick. Still had a fair bit of pace on it. 79. Barcelona are back to their delay tactics with Suarez going down theatrically. 76. Alonso booked for a high tackle. He's been walking a tightrope for a while in fairness. 73. I suppose Antonio Conte's side should start looking to the future. They'll need to regroup before the weekend's trip to Leicester in the FA Cup. I'm sure Jamie Vardy will go easy on them, right? 70. Zappacosta looks to make an impact down the right, but his cross goes up and away over the goal. The hosts are content to sit deep and hit Chelsea on the counter. Dembele off, Vidal on. Victor Moses makes way for Davide Zappacosta on the right flank. Morata on for Giroud. Reuters Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Barcelona 3-0 Chelsea, MESSI 64, the magician strikes again. Lionel Messi has put this match completely out of sight with his second of the evening. Barcelona snatch possession in midfield and break quickly. Suarez lays it off and the Argentine beats his man before firing low through Courtois' legs. 62. No Busquets or Iniesta in the middle, Chelsea need to go at them now. Hazard spins his marker and lays it off to Alonso, who sees a drilled effort blocked. 60. Sergio Busquets has signaled to the bench that he's picked up an injury. Andre Gomes, who's got the most sublime hair you've ever seen, replaces him. 59. Barcelona have shown almost nothing as an attacking side since the break. Chelsea instigate a swift counterattack as Willian drives forward through the middle, but he and Giroud get their wires crossed and the attack fizzles out. Reuters Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. 58. Iniesta makes way for Paulino. The captain's armband goes to Lionel Messi. Spurs vs Chelsea. What could possibly go wrong? 55. Willian has been fantastic tonight. He's really taking the game to Barcelona and isn't afraid to go after them. Another man who should be praised for his display is Marcos Alonso, who just attempted the most audacious bicycle kick you've ever seen. Shinned it. 54. That looked like a penalty to me. Peak pushes Alonso to the floor inside the area, but referee Demir Scamino waves away the appeal before booking Giroud for complaining. 51. Azpilicueta and Courts gets themselves in a mix-up at the goalkeeper manages to deny Suarez with his legs. 48. Bright start to the second half as Moses wins Chelsea a corner, which Rudiger glances over to Willian, whose shot is blocked. 45. We're back underway folks. Chelsea have 45 minutes to score 2 unanswered goals against the mighty Barcelona. The Chelsea players were out there on the pitch a couple of minutes before a smiling group of Barcelona chaps came out the tunnel. They think this is all over. Reuters Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Twitter Roundup. Joe, this is probably the best half of attacking football I've seen from Chelsea all season. We look so dangerous. Shame we are playing a side who can finish their chances. Ollie, Chelsea have stood toe-to-toe with Barcelona over the 2 legs. In this tie the only difference so far has been Messi fluked Chelsea 2 down at halftime entirely because of their own faults. Conte has to go tonight. The club needs to act before we end up like Arsenal. Barcelona 2-0 CHELSEAHT. Chelsea have played very well in parts, but 2 moments of ruthless finishing from the hosts might just have put this out of sight. 44. Giroud wins himself a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Not much of a foul, but if you can't beat him, join him. Alonso lines it up. Woodwork. Wonderful free kick from the Spaniard, clips off the post and behind for a goal kick. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores in action from the Nou Camp. 42. These are the kind of antics that somewhat spoil Barcelona's liquid football. They are masters of the dark arts. Tumbling, sniping, moaning, diving. Peaks just spent 5 minutes on the floor after Giroud made the fatal error of breathing on him. 39. That's just unlucky. N'Golo Kante breaks into the box but fires wide. It might have been 2-1 if he'd left it for Fabregas, who arrived at the perfect moment. 36. Close. Marcos Alonso forces a decent save from Ter Stegen with a rasping half volley. 33. Azpilicueta sends a floated crossover to Giroud, but it's far too close to Ter Stegen, who collects. 30. Willian does his best to push Chelsea forward, but he's got very little support and finds himself crowded out. A long-range rocket might just be Chelsea's best chance of a miraculous revival. 27. Luis Suarez nearly completes the full house for Barcelona's front three, but Courtois keeps his legs closed this time and makes the stop. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. 24. Barcelona have scored with their first 2 shots in the game against Chelsea. Terrifyingly ruthless. Sergi Roberto is booked for tugging back Eden Hazard on the break. 23. Chelsea now require 2 unanswered goals to go through inside the 90 minutes. Penalties and extra time are no longer an option. That is quite good for me personally, because I have an appointment with a pint of Guinness at the pub. Barcelona 2-0 Chelsea, Dembele 21, my word. That's a finish. Chelsea have been brutally punished by a ruthlessly clinical Barcelona. Lionel Messi robs Cesc Fabregas and scythes through Chelsea's defense before picking the perfect pass to Ousmane Dembele, who rifles beyond Courtois. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. 19. I see people saying the Barcelona goal doesn't really matter because Chelsea needed to score anyway. Well, yes, I suppose that's true. But now they need to score 2 in order to advance, not 1 goal. 16. Thibaut Courtois will never want to see that Lionel Messi opener again. It doesn't get better with each viewing. 13. Offside. Eden Hazard collects a loose pass and threads it through to Antonio Rudiger, who was flagged for offside. Willian follows that up with a crack from distance, but Ter Stegen makes a fairly comfortable save. 10. What a great response from Chelsea. The Premier League champions are really giving it everything. 7. After failing to score in his first 10 Champions League appearances against English teams, Lionel Messi has since netted 19 goals in his last 18 games. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. 5. A Chelsea free kick down the left is whipped in by Willian and deflected behind for a corner. Barcelona clear that effectively, but Chelsea are straight back at them. Not going down without a fight. Barcelona 1-0 Chelsea, MESSI 3, nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare start for Chelsea. Barcelona have barely reached second gear and they've already taken the lead through Lionel Messi. The Argentine plays a quick 1-2 with Luis Suarez, before putting it through the legs of Thibaut Courtois from an impossible angle. 2. There's a horrible sense of déjà vu in these opening stages. Chelsea set up as they did against Manchester City a few weeks ago. We all know how that ended. Chelsea's 3-4-3 looks more like a 5-4-1.1, and we're off. The usual booing of the Champions League took place before kickoff. Catalonia Independence banner proudly on display. Intimidating atmosphere for Chelsea. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. 1-minute warning. 1943. The players are out and about as the home supporters wave their flags furiously. They love a flag at the Nou Camp. Never really got going in England. Barcelona vs Chelsea 1940. Quick reminder of those starting eyes, folks. Barcelona 11, Ter Stegen, Roberto, Pique, Umtiti, Jordi Alba, Busquets, Iniesta, Rakitic, Suarez, Messi, Dembele. Subs: Silasson, Paulino, Paco Alcácer, Digne, André Gomes, Alex Vidal, Vermaelen. Chelsea 11, Courtois, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, Moses, Kante, Fabregas, Alonso, Hazard, Willian, Giroud. Subs: Caballero, Morata, Pedro, Bakayoko, Zappacosta, Cahill, Palmieri. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Morata will be disappointed. 1935, Frank Lampard's had his say about Antonio Conte's decision to start Olivier Giroud ahead of Alvaro Morata. He will be disappointed, yes. There's been a lot of talk about the false number 9, but I understand his thinking. Lampard said of Morata on BT Sport, "We've been talking a lot about it amongst ourselves before the game. When you come to a place like this, I think you need a reference in your team. You need somebody who can hold the ball up. That's how Olivier Giroud plays, and somebody Hazard and Willian can work off. You need some way for Chelsea to get up the pitch. Someone like Giroud is that target man. Hits him and you'll see what he does." Twitter Roundup. Scarlet: 3 things are certain in life: death, taxes, and the fact that Chelsea will be shown a red card tonight. John: big performance needed by Chelsea. A Barca goal doesn't change much, so no reason to be timid. Work your socks off, and take your chances when they come. We've done this before. Conte Tactical Masterclass. Hazard Masterclass. PFFT. The only masterclass in store tonight is a Messi masterclass. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Familiar faces. 1925, both Cesc Fabregas and Pedro are now at Chelsea, having played for Barcelona, including against the Blues. Luis Suarez had 2 goals in 7 appearances for Liverpool against Chelsea, whose then defender Branislav Ivanovic bid in April 2013. Barca are without an eligible former Liverpool playmaker Philippe Coutinho, but Andres Iniesta has returned to training following a hamstring injury and could feature. Iniesta has ended Chelsea's Champions League hopes before, and Blues fans will fear he can again. Audition. 1920, Chelsea supporters won't be too happy with Rio Ferdinand this evening. The BT Sports pundit thinks that tonight could be an audition for Eden Hazard, who could join either Real Madrid or Barcelona. I would recommend turning Twitter off for a few hours. Rio. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Worst Barca in 10 years. 1915, blimey, Guillem Balog hasn't held back when assessing Chelsea's chances of qualification tonight. He thinks that the Catalan Giants are the worst team they have been in a decade. Quite what that says about Real Madrid and the rest of the sides trailing them in La Liga. In terms of their squad, this is the worst Barcelona in 10 years. That means Barca will always give you a chance, but Chelsea will have to be clinical, more than they were at Stamford Bridge, to take the 2 or 3 chances that come their way in order to progress. Hope. 1910, Chelsea's best performance of the season came in Spain, when the Blues beat Atletico Madrid 2-1 in September. On that occasion Morata and Hazard combined spectacularly, and Michy Batshuayi, now on loan at Borussia Dortmund, scored a stoppage-time winner. N'Golo Kante's eye-action performance was notable too. If the Blues can reproduce a similar level, it would give them a chance. But Barca are unbeaten in La Liga this season and have scored 8 goals, conceding 1 in the Champions League and beating Juventus, Olympiacos and Sporting Lisbon at home. Someone send out the bat signal. We need a hero. Getty. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Team news. Summary. 1905, Olivier Giroud starts as striker with Eden Hazard in his usual role on the left of a front 3. Victor Moses and Antonio Rudiger also return for the Blues, who must score at least once to have any hope of advancing after last month's first leg in London finished in a 1-1 draw. For Barca, Lionel Messi is back after missing last Saturday's win at Malaga attending the birth of his 3rd child, while Andres Iniesta was past fit after a hamstring injury. Twitter Roundup. Ben Conte has got the starting 11 spot on. He needed to start Giroud. Hazard back in his favored position too. Quietly confident now, buddy. Yes. No more false 9. Finally a strong 11 against Barca. Hopefully Giroud will deliver on the big occasion. This is the game of the season for the Blues and we badly need this win. Hazard masterclass incoming. Win or lose, Blues all the way so long as you put out your strongest team. Antonio Conte's selection appears to have the thumbs up from Chelsea supporters. Half the battle, right? Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Managing Messi. 1850, I'm almost surprised that we still bother asking how teams should deal with Lionel Messi. Chelsea looked to have the secret to stopping him, but after years of trying, Messi scored his first goal against Chelsea in his 9th game against the Blues. Chelsea know how to play at Barcelona. They are unbeaten in their last 4 visits to the Nou Camp in last month's 1-1 draw made it 8 games without defeat against the Catalans. The Blues' defense has appeared shaky of late, though, and must be at its best against a Barca side seeking to reach the quarter-finals for a record-extending 11th year in a row. Chelsea have reached the same stage once in the last 5 years, in 2013-14, Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Barcelona vs Chelsea 1845, and they've arrived. Oh wait, there must be a problem. Antonio Conte has started a striker tonight. Olivier Giroud gets the nod. Andres Iniesta recovers from a hamstring injury. He's also in the starting 11. Barcelona 11, Ter Stegen, Roberto, Pique, Umtiti, Jordi Alba, Busquets, Iniesta, Rakitic, Suarez, Messi, Dembele. Subs: Silasson, Paulino, Paco Alcácer, Digne, André Gomes, Alex Vidal, Vermaelen. Chelsea 11, Courtois, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, Moses, Kante, Fabregas, Alonso, Hazard, Willian, Giroud. Subs: Caballero, Morata, Pedro, Bakayoko, Zappacosta, Cahill, Palmieri. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. The wait goes on. 1840, still waiting for those starting eyes, folks. Shouldn't be too long before they land. While we're waiting, I'll let you know how Besiktas are getting on in their quest to overturn a 5-0 deficit against Bayern Munich. It's not going well. Bayern are 2-1 ahead and 7-1 ahead on aggregate. They'll be in Friday's quarter-final draw. Ready to strike. 1830, Chelsea must score, but the Blues' strike force has stuttered of late. Alvaro Morata has not scored since Boxing Day. Olivier Giroud has 1 goal since his arrival from Arsenal and should have had a hat-trick against Crystal Palace last Saturday. And Eden Hazard, who has 7 goals in 2018, is a reluctant false 9, voicing his frustrations after the lackluster loss at Manchester City. Conte has been deliberating over his forward options and said he would consult key players on the best way to play in the game. Have your say. 1825, if you want to vent your frustrations, or discuss any issues in the world of football, within reason, then get in touch. You can either comment at the bottom of the page or contact me via Twitter using the hashtag Evening 1820. Welcome to our live coverage of the Champions League. I trust you're all in top form this evening. Pick any winners at Cheltenham? Yep, me neither. Who would have thought that picking horses based on bright colors and funny names wouldn't work? Anyway, we've got the very serious matter of a Champions League knockout tie on our hands. A place in the quarter-finals is at stake as Chelsea make the daunting trip to Barcelona with the score tied at 1-1. Wednesday, March 14, 2018. Chelsea have been training hard ahead of their Champions League clash with Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Reuters. Barcelona vs Chelsea, latest Champions League scores and action from the Nou Camp. Barcelona vs Chelsea. Chelsea could field Eden Hazard as a false 9, or Olivier Giroud or Alvaro Morata as a more conventional striker in Wednesday's Champions League last 16 second leg at Barcelona. Defender Antonio Rudiger is available after being rested for the 2-1 win over Crystal Palace. Midfielder Timo Bakayoko could come into the starting lineup, but defender David Luiz, ankle, and midfielder Ross Barkley, hamstring, are out. Provisional squad: Courtois, Caballero, Rudiger, Alonso, Fabregas, Drinkwater, Kante, Morata, Hazard, Pedro, Bakayoko, Moses,
Giroud, Zappacosta, Willian, Cahill, Christensen, Azpilicueta, Palmieri, Scott, Eduardo, Ampadu, Sterling, Hudson-Odoi.
Stream details. Barcelona vs Chelsea is being broadcast live on BT Sport 2, Sky 414, Sky HD 433, BT TV 409, Virgin Media 532, with the pre-match build-up starting at 7 p.m. BT Sport will also be showing the match on a desktop computer or laptop via the company's own site. The BT Sport enhanced video player is also available online.